call this meeting to order. Will you join me at the pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And have a roll call, please.
Hannah,
Yes.
Callahan, excuse, Rodriguez,
Yep.
Hill,
Yes.
Sharp,
Here.
Hurt,
Yes.
O'Laughlin.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Do you see the individual on there? Assuming we don't have any public comment at this point, I will ask for a motion to accept and approve the consent agenda that approves, approve the consent agenda that approves the following, the minutes of the February 22nd, 2021 regular meeting.
So moved. Second.
You have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Next, I will ask for a motion to approve the claims for payment.
So moved. Second.
I do have a motion and a second to approve claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Down to food for fines pantry donation. I need a motion to approve a warrant in the amount of $25.50 to the Independence Area Food Pantry on behalf of the Independence Public Library Food and Fines Program.
So moved. Second.
I have several more motions in a second.
Is this something they're gonna be able to continue to do, or they're not going to be able to?
This is the last year they're going to do it because there's so much confusion with the auditor's report, so this time we're just gonna run it through this way. It'll show up on our books, and then they're not gonna do it anymore.
Any other comments, questions? Can I have a roll call, please?
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Sharp,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next, I need a motion to consider adopting the ordinance for the third and final time of the Division of Taxes levied on taxable property for the February 2021 addition to the Independence Urban Renewal Area pursuant to Section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa.
I'd make the motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Could I have a roll call, please?
Hill,
Yes.
Sharp,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next, we have a public hearing on proposed amendment to the Independence Rural Urban Renewal Area. I need a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing.
So moved. Second.
I do have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Next, I need a motion to hold the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
I do have a motion and a second to hold the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. We are now in public hearing for the urban renewal area. Any comments? Anything sent to the clerk? Hearing nothing, then I ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Have a motion and second to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. We are out of public hearing. Moving on to a resolution to approve a resolution, a motion to approve the resolution to approve urban renewal plan amendment for the Independence Urban Renewal Area.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I would ask for a roll call, please.
Sharp,
Yes.
Hurst,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next, we have a public hearing on proposed development agreement with B3 Brew LLC doing business as Scooters Coffee. I need a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Next, I need a motion to hold the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second to hold the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. We are now in public hearing in regards to proposed development agreement for B3 Brew LLC.
I suppose that ground's gotta be tested for, gas pumps there at one time.
I would believe it already had to have been tested before they disturbed it. They probably had to have a clean bill of health to transfer that property or tell them what's going on in it before they disturb it. I don't know if they're going to take more than just the concrete out or if they're actually taking soil out. It looks like just the concrete is coming
They're
out.
pretty deep right now, I'm watching out there.
Well, they had some pilings that had to come out from a canopy or something at one time. The development agreement itself is for, it's based on $710,000 of eligible expenses in the development of the property. So at the 10% that we have done for commercial properties, the proposed development agreement is not to exceed $71,000 over 10 years on a step down 90, 80, 70% rebate.
Is there any comments from the public at all?
Just Mr. Mum saying he appreciates your support.
Anything else, council? And I'll ask for a motion to close the hearing and receive and file oral and written comments.
So moved.
Second.
I do have a motion and a second to close the hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. The hearing is closed. I am now asking for a motion to approve a resolution approving development agreement and attached site plan with B3 Brew LLC doing business as Scooters Coffee, authorizing annual appropriation tax increment payments and pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of the agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Do have a motion and a second. I will ask for a roll call, please.
Hurst,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Sharp.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. We are down to needing a motion to approve a resolution setting the date for next council meeting, 22nd.
Correct.
Public hearing and additional action on proposal to enter into general obligation corporate purpose loan agreements and to borrow money thereunder.
Just a question. I thought we were gonna try to finance primarily with the SRF, and
SRF is not eligible for us because of a programmatic agreement that would be required based on discovery of an Indian mound that was disturbed when the courthouse was built. And there might possibly, maybe, could someday be found some human remains in the dirt that was moved at the time of the mound being disturbed. And while it doesn't change our obligation, should we find any human remains as it would any other time, we were 90 to 120 days out from having a programmatic agreement in place, which was not going to match up with the contractor's need to start.
I understand all that, but I wondered, when the problematic, idea came up, or the,
It was a surprise to us within the last 3 weeks. We've been working all the way through this. We were on time, on a timeline that would have met the contractor's construction timetable.
And even surprised the SRF people that have been helping us through the process.
Sure.
They even surprised them. Actually, these burial mounds and things, they are not available for the public record. They're only available through.
Do we need him to come forward?
It-
Nobody's able to hear you back there from the public. Do you want to come forward to a microphone or something?
I think the challenge that we face is the fact that the state was fast tracking our SRF application to meet our construction timetable. We very much appreciated the effort they put into it, but it was a surprise to all of us when they brought this up. And at the time, we even tried to fast track the programmatic agreement until we got to the point where they had to have 90 days to take any kind of input from different agencies at the state and federal level. That's what killed it. And so the fact that we're going back into an existing roadway, existing construction was a surprise.
yeah, because that's what I thought too, when I read that about the programmatic, that, this has been disturbed numerous times when it was built and rebuilt.
Correct. But because they're using, in essence, federal criteria for this, it has to meet their timetable and notification period and time to respond. And by the time you get through all of that, there's nothing in the programmatic agreement that we're concerned about. It's getting to the point where we can sign it, and that just takes too long. So that is not an option. This includes
Were we gonna use water fund money for that also?
it will be a water revenue bond and a sewer general obligation bond because it's smaller, and less expensive to do it that way. So it'll be broken up into two different types of bonds that way.
Did I hear a motion on this?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, now I do have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call, please?
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Sharp,
Yes.
Kurt.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next is a motion to approve a resolution in support of the Rural Innovation Grant Program.
This resolution reflects changes that were requested by the council at our work session on Monday night, taking it to a $5,000 match for the innovation grant.
So moved.
Second.
I do have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to see the money stay with the hotel motel stay with the park and rec and the library.
I don't think that has anything to do with this particular motion.
Well, it is the $5,000 from hotel motel that
Yes.
funds our match.
Oh, okay.
So that's,
I think what happened at the workshop is the council didn't feel there was enough, hotel motel tax revenue this year to split it up between the, requests from outside entities and then still be able to use it for library and parks and rec. Next year we can, but if we have enough revenue, but this year we didn't feel there was enough.
And we did cut that request down from 20,000 down to 5.
5 total.
Roll call, please.
Hannah,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Sharp,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
O'Loughlin.
No.
Motion did carry. Next, I need a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign memorandums of understanding with Intercog for the general administration of 2 possible housing fund contracts with the Iowa Economic Development Authority.
This is what we talked about at the workshop.
Right, this is 2 separate grant applications, one for an energy efficiency program, basically a homeowner renovation rehab, one for down payment assistance, but they have to be done as 2 separate grants. We haven't received absolute responses as to whether or not we can apply for one or the other. So we're assuming that we're applying for both at this point, but this just says that if we get the CDBG grant, Intercog will administer it, and they will be paid as our representative out of the grant for their administration of the grant.
We know just how much that would be per household.
The rehab right now is earmarked at $25,000 per household, but they do have a lead-based paint criteria that they have to meet, and as much as half of the funding can go into lead-based paint testing and then remediation if they find it. So it's a little bit more than what we did with our LMI housing a couple of years ago, but it's a good program. The down payment assistance is 5 homes in 5 years. We did 3 in, 2.5 years with our LMI, so.
And how much that be per house?
I believe that's $25,000 as well.
And there's an agreement they've got to live there for like 5 years or something.
Correct. They have to stay in the house for so long, or they pay back a prorated portion.
Would we do any of our LMI program if we get this?
I don't think that we have to. If we find some properties that need some additional assistance, we could sweeten the pot with LMI if we wanted to or if we needed to, but at this point, that is not part of the program today.
So would we just carry the LMI funds forward to use when this isn't available?
Correct.
We have any calls about it yet? From people?
Oh, well, not yet, because we haven't really stepped into it.
I
This
didn't
is,
know how much people heard about it in the community.
yeah, at this point, it's the council's blessing to move ahead with it.
Right.
In order for us to get the funding, we'll have to start our advertisement based on your approval of this agreement.
Wasn't it one time, Al, instead of 25,000, wasn't it 25% a long time ago? I think a long time ago.
That could be,
It seemed like it was 25%, which is, no matter what, it's winter for everybody.
right.
But I was just thinking,
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, Carl, you got a better memory than I do. I know I've worked with the CDBG program in other states, but, everybody does it a little bit differently depending on how the state structures it. So that could be part of it.
yeah, I think you're right. And I was just going back to the time that we were down to the bank, and they got so much, and then they take over with the certain guidelines.
Right.
Okay.
But
It's a good winter for everybody.
absolutely. It's a great program for, getting people into home ownership, as well as the rehab is incredibly valuable for us.
Can a down payment be used for either new or existing purchase?
Yeah.
I make the motion for both of these to move forward.
I second it.
Okay, I do have a motion and a second to approve, so I need a roll call, please.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Sharp,
Yes.
Kurtz,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Thank you, motion is carried. Next, I need a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign. Oh, it didn't change over. Let me see if this is here. Okay, a motion to approve a resolution approving contract and performance and/or payment bonds for the Highway 150 reconstruction project.
Make the motion to approve it.
Second.
You have a motion and second. Any other discussion? If not, a roll call, please.
Hill,
Yes.
Sharp,
Yes.
Kurtz,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Thank you, motion is carried. Next, I have a motion to approve, okay, professional service agreement with Crawford Engineering Enterprise for engineering for Enterprise Drive East RISE grant.
This is for an extension of Enterprise Drive East, as well as the construction of Larson Lane, which would be a north-south street attached to Enterprise Drive East extension. This is for the pre-expansion that they're taking on this summer. We can secure up to 50% of the cost of that street extension with the RISE grant. It's an immediate opportunities grant that would be converted to a local development, local opportunity development grant through the DOT. RISE grant will go in draft form tomorrow, with the resolution coming to the council on the 22nd for final application for the DOT commission to consider on April 12th.
What's our obligation financially with this?
Our obligation is for 50% of the road project plus the water and sewer line extension. The water and sewer are not eligible for RISE funds, only the road is. And then we have 50% of the construction of the road.
I'd make a motion to approve the agreement.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second to approve the professional agreement with Crawford Engineering. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Thank you. You're down to reports.
One, going back here, Al, when would construction, we tried to do this construction on this extension?
Well, we have to develop the plans and specs and take it out for bid. That would have to be this summer. The building is going up this summer. They're trying to move a press into that building in October or November. So to put it into a time frame, it has to be done this summer.
Okay.
Who named the streets? Larson Lane?
Well, Enterprise Drive is already there.
Right.
Larson Lane was named by the building inspector.
Really?
I mean, ultimately, he's responsible for naming and numbering the streets.
Was that done a while back? Was that done recently or just,
Last week,
oh, okay.
I'd say that's recent.
I guess that's recent.
This would be quite a deal, 100,000 square foot addition.
100,000 square foot addition, 10 new jobs initially. If they move a painting operation in there, there could be another 20 on top of that yet. Their biggest challenge right now is clearly, having the labor force. They are concerned about that, obviously, but right now they have to get the press in there, which will near double their current capacity.
Have we received any more information on the census, what our numbers are?
We're supposed to have preliminary numbers by the end of this month, I think is their goal. I haven't received anything at this point, but that was the target date that they have.
Two friends of mine in DC were telling me it should have been in by the 1st of March, but apparently they're not on track for that, so.
No, the information we got sounded like the end of March.
Dustin, do you have anything else to add?
We're down to that point of the meeting already? Biggest thing that I have.
Microphone.
Turn the mic around. That works better. Okay. Biggest thing that I have is, obviously, today we got flooded with a bunch of calls about the speed cameras, about the citations that have gone out. One of the biggest concerns was signage. That has been addressed. I have been working with Todd. He has more signs ordered for the school zone to be put up, but we can't put them up if we don't have them. So as soon as we get them, they will be up. I mean, the questions ranged from that to, questions about on Friday afternoons when school is out early. If it's a late start, no school, or Friday afternoon when school is out and there's no school in session, we void all the ones at that time. We don't write a citation if we don't have school on that time. So we void all the ones in those school times. All the rest of the ones we still allow are still approved to go through. Any other questions that have come up? That would be a big one.
Somebody made a mention of a line item we added to the budget for $150,000 in income from speed cameras. I don't recall us doing that.
Don't ask me on that question.
We did add a line item for $150,000 for anticipated revenue.
Okay.
Our numbers are much higher than that. If you take a little bit of information we have, it's closer to $250,000 for our revenues. Again, very short window. We don't know what that's going to be, and I'm not going to tell you it's guaranteed, but we know there will be revenue.
There was a question I was asked about how to contest the citation, and that on the forms that are sent out, it says, a completely different state than Iowa, and it is correct. It doesn't go through us, it goes through the GET, so they have to get a hold of them, they set that up, and then it goes back to us. So as of right now, everything has to go through GET, so it doesn't come through us. I have had, between conversations of our, through our Facebook page to phone calls, it was almost on nonstop today. So trying to fill out or give any information I can. If anybody has any other questions, or happy to give us a call. Myself or Captain Mel will be happy to answer anything we possibly can to help us out with the situation. So,
Does that mean they've received their citations in the mail and that's why they're calling?
yes.
Oh.
One person did ask why it took a couple weeks for them to get one. Only thing we do is we approve them. That goes back to the company on when they send them out. I know at the beginning of last month, they had a little bit of an issue getting stuff situated that we mailed out. And then as soon as we were approved, or we started approving them, they should have sent them out. So I don't know how far behind they are or how long it takes for one to get to somebody's house. Last time I got one from Cedar Rapids was 10 years ago, and I think it took almost 3 to 4 weeks before I got it from the Cedar Rapids cameras. So I can't tell you for sure how long it's going to take for them to get.
How long do they have to pay the ticket once they've received it?
I am not quite sure on that. I have not actually seen one I've received one myself, so I can't say I actually know. I'd have to look into that one.
Dustin, for anybody who might be watching, what is it if they want to contest or have an administrative hearing on this? How do they go about doing that?
There's a phone number that is on the citation you're supposed to call. From my understanding, they've been really overwhelmed kind of with phone calls maybe there. So it's an automated system. You leave your information, they'll get back to you. Or there's a website you can go to and you contest it through the website. It should all be explained in the citation that they get from that.
And anybody who's listening, if they are having a difficulty finding a way to contest that, give us a call. We'll help walk you through that. But there is an administrative hearing process that you can avail yourself of.
And I did get a call from somebody today who doesn't use the internet, doesn't do Facebook. And I explained to them they used to call the phone number. They called me back and said, yeah, it's an automated system. So I actually called it myself, and it is. It's automated. It says, leave your name, number, the number of your citation. We'll call you back as soon as we can.
So does that call go to the company with the cameras, or does that call go to you guys?
The company with the cameras, because they will get all of them set in place on when to do the contesting of the citation, and then they'll set up the hearing, so that we actually have a hearing for that. And then we'll get notified of the hearing and so forth from there. Kind of like we did like we would with court. We actually had a criminal charge.
But the hearings are actually done by you guys, isn't it?
It would be done by my assistant chief, Darwin Meyer.
Okay.
He does not have anything to do with the citations. He doesn't operate the system, doesn't approve any of them. So that's why we chose him, is because he's completely separate than what we are actually doing. He doesn't see any of them ahead of time. It's only when it comes to somebody contesting it will he actually have the ability to look at it and see what it is, what we approved, and he can make that decision.
Okay.
Dustin, can you give some clarity on, there's been some confusion out there as to
how we came up with that, speed limit out there relative to state law?
From my understanding, a school zone is 10 miles an hour roughly under what the regular speed limit is. That normal speed limit in that area is 30 miles an hour, so when we went to the school zone, it's just 10 miles an hour less, so it became 20 miles an hour.
How much latitude do they have?
When it's in the school zone time, which is 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., or 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., you get 5 miles an hour. At that 6 mile an hour over the speed limit, then it's a citation for that speed. Sure. If it's any other time or any other camera in the city, you have 10, and at 11, it's a citation. Thank you. Any other questions, if any of you guys have heard of that I can try to answer for you, or clarify for the general public that are listening? That's all I had, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Is Dick here tonight or not? No? And Gina, or you guys have anything for department heads?
No.
Any council meeting members have anything they'd like to mention, or?
I have one thing. I'd like to say thanks, Gina, for your 6+ years of appointment. Good luck with your new ventures.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Everybody's enjoying our beautiful weather. You want to get back out to it since it's still warm out there? I don't think we have any committee meetings to,
Just remember, next council meeting starts at 6, for the budget hearing, not at 6:30. We have to start a half hour early for that budget hearing. And application packets will be ready for your review a week from today. So next Monday, there'll be packets available for you.
Anytime Monday, morning, that goes, okay.
Yeah, I'll try and have them, for the most part, ready on Friday, and then anything that comes in over the weekend we'll add to.
Okay, thank you.
so the general public needs to know our hearing is at 6 o'clock on the 22nd, and if they have any comments or anything, then they need to.
Right.
But they would have to call in to Ring Central. We won't be in person at that point.
Only the council in person at that point.
Okay. Anything else? I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Get that real quick, don't we? I have a motion and a second to adjourn tonight's meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. We are adjourned. Thank
Good night,
you.
Steve Leidinger.
Good night.